Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everywhere else. My name is Jonathan. I'm a new vlogger. I actually never tried this before, but a little bit about myself. I'm 33. I'm an artist and a photographer. You're actually watching me through the eyes of my Nikon. It's a D3300. I know, cheap entry-level camera, but I'm a cheap entry-level photographer. So I've been drawing and painting a lot longer than I've been taking pictures. So I'm still very new to the whole photography thing. I'm learning composition, how light works, all that good stuff. Well, I'm sure we'll get into that later, but that's totally not what today's about. Today's just to get to know me, and just a couple of current events that are going on in my life. So, we'll start off with a story, a good story. The short version is, when I was 14, I was hit by lightning. Not the full force. It hit the air conditioning unit on top of our house. I was out watching the storm right in front of our screen door, actually screen window, but somehow it grounded onto me. So, I didn't get hit by much, relative terms. Lightning bolts can carry a lot of power. But I got hit by enough. Felt kind of like a full body punch. If any of you are lucky enough to ever be near a 175 millimeter howitzer when it goes off, you kind of know the feeling. They feel similar. But anyways, so I was hit by lightning. No real lasting effects. I dusted myself off. Was like, whoa. Went back inside, told the story. Everyone was like, wah. But fast forward from then to when I entered adulthood and I got married and all that and started trying to have kids, and after, a lot of no success, saw a doctor who said, you're not going to have kids because apparently, without going into gory detail, certain parts of your body are not meant to be superheated. Okay. So, yeah, that was kind of devastating to hear that kind of news. But I didn't give up. I was like, okay, so there's still like a, minuscule chance though, right? It's like, oh yeah. These things, happen all the time, as to where you're told one thing and then it happens anyways. It's like, just be aware the chance is minuscule. I was like, okay. I was alright with that. So I went on with my life, and apologize if you hear the sirens, and kept trying to have kids for 10 years. Now here we are, a decade later, and it's been just a little over 1 year now as of this recording, since my girlfriend actually announced that she was pregnant. And that was kind of interesting. I was like, what? The way it happened was kind of funny. So, we hadn't been officially trying yet. We basically took off the birth control, and we're like, okay, if it happens, it happens, but we're not expecting anything. And, cool, whatever. It happened, and it was just like, I think I'm pregnant. I was like, no way. So she, went peed on a stick. I'm sitting there playing. I think I was playing Borderlands actually at the time. And I was smoking a cigarette because I still smoked in the house. And she came back and was like, I have something to tell you. And I was like, no way. No. She's bullshitting me. So I was like, okay, what's up? She kind of gives me a hug and she's like, we're pregnant. I was like, cigarette out of mouth. Not kidding, not scripted. Trust me, I was wearing shorts, which soon went from to yeah, that was an intense moment. Never give up. Never ever give up. And my daughter has now taught me these challenges too. Never give up. The message doesn't end there. Because let's fast forward 8 months, where we're here now. So 8 months later, and she came 4 months early. Her mother got preeclampsia, and they had to do an emergency cesarean to save the baby and mama. And she had very low survivability expectations. It was like definitely less than 40%. I think it was even less than 30%. I can't recall off the top of my head. But yeah, it was very low. They didn't expect her to make it, but she did. She kicked ass. She totally made it. Then 3 months ago, she was intubated. She had a little air tube going down her throat to her lungs so that she could breathe. Obviously, when you're born, 4 months early, you don't have a clue as to how to breathe. But because of that she'd been on that tube so long, she could not breathe on her own. Like, they tried putting her on the regular breathing, and she didn't really know how. But when she would get it right, it was still pretty rough because she'd never used like her upper respiratory, through the nose, down here. She'd never used that in her life. So it had gotten down to the size of a pin. So they had to do a tracheotomy, which is where they poke a little tiny hole here and, help you breathe that way. So she's on a ventilator. Now, and I'm probably getting a lot of details wrong because I wasn't there. These last 3 months while they've been in Colorado, I have been still here in Albuquerque, working, just trying to get us moved into this new place, which is where I'm being recorded, where you're seeing it. I'll get it right eventually. But yeah, that's where we are now. And so they came home a couple of days ago. Not home, but back to Albuquerque. So now they're down at the hospital, and this last couple of days have been crazy because it's been just non-stop trying to get ready for them. There's training I have to go through. I actually have another training today. We had to buy a new car seat and a new adapter. We've now crossed the $1,300 mark on how much we've spent on strollers and car seats because her medical needs evolve, so must her stroller. And just getting her room set up, everything. It has been craziness. But that's okay. Because it's all going to be worth it. Because hopefully in about a week, she'll come home. And all this will be, a memory, and we'll be able to, live happily ever after. So, that's where we're at right now. However, I'm scared out of my mind. I have to learn how to change her trach, and that is a scary thought. Disconnecting her oxygen supply, because it's right here, this little thing right there, to replace it. God, there's so much that can go wrong there. Seriously mind-blowing. And I know I'll get used to it. Pretty soon it'll be like, oh, no big deal. Here, do this, because that's the way her mother is right now. She's like, she was teaching the nurses how to do some of this stuff. I'm not exaggerating. The nurses were like, well, you've never seen how this one's done. She was like, oh, and just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Me, I've never done any of it. As a matter of fact, after this recording and after I get it edited and start uploading, I'm going to be heading out there, and that's going to be one of the things I get to learn today. I am scared. But we'll see how it goes. Shouldn't have any problems. She says it's super easy, so I trust her. We shall see how super easy it is. In the meantime, I'm actually going to put the camera down. I'm going to go ahead get a couple more things I need to get taken care of done this morning, and then I'm going to head out and see my little girl. It's nice chatting with y'all. Y'all have a good day.